Hello, welcome back to theCUBE. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. We are here at the NYSE. We have a great lineup of folks here all week long as part of NRF Media Week, and we're going to end out the day with Nikhil Simha, CTO of Zipline AI. Welcome back to theCUBE. We were just chatting before we came on camera. Great to see you. Give a quick overview of what you guys do. Explain what Zipline AI does and what you guys have done for funding. I know you guys are right out of the gate here from Airbnb. Now you were at Airbnb and your co-founders at Stripe?
My co-founder is also at Airbnb.
So you guys are both at Airbnb. Okay, give the quick overview of what Zipline does.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started out as an open source project coming from Airbnb and Stripe. So what we do is we make the data side of AI faster. So we take that from months worth of time to a week or a day.
And then you worked at Facebook?
I worked at Facebook before Airbnb and Amazon before that. All the time doing ML infra or data infra related stuff.
So what, was that kind of the deep learning, at the beginning of the deep learning wave? So you were doing like unsupervised machine learning, supervised machine learning. What kind of machine learning were you guys working on?
Mostly supervised machine learning that is in the production path for ads models or for search models or for fraud detection. That kind of stuff, which is like very supervised machine learning based, but later on it ended up becoming more unsupervised because of embeddings. So by the time I left Facebook, there's a lot of embedding models everywhere.
So a lot more action going on, not as hardcore rigid, more expansive opportunity.
Yeah.
And so you're at Airbnb and you guys open sourced, what did you guys open source? What product was it specifically?
So it's called Cronon, an Apache 2 licensed data platform for ML and AI workloads, essentially.
Yeah. What's the purpose? To me, I hear cron, I think cron jobs, but like what is the product?
Yeah.
Take me through what it is.
Yeah, to do data for ML, you need to stitch together batch systems, stream processing systems, indexes and services, and all of this is like manual work today. What we do is we allow people to write their SQL for batch training data generation, and we generate all of this under the hood. So people don't have to learn like Flink or like all of these other systems. They just need to learn their SQL, and we get the rest of the systems in place.
And that obviously saves a lot of time, obviously, but what is the benefit to that? Speed of integration? What's the main impact?
Yeah, so there is three main things. One is obviously the velocity for developers. ML is all about like having as many iterations in a given amount of time. The second one is we can truly manage the lineage of data processing all the way into the model. And because of that, we can govern effectively. So if you have things like EU, AA law or whatever, all of these things can be automated into the system. So whenever there is a violation, before that goes into commit, we can tell like, hey, there's a violation here. And the third thing is we can monitor automatically. So instead of you having to like connect with other vendors or whatever, this is all integrated. So you just like write your definitions and we figure out what the monitoring of that should be, and we generate that.
All right, so what was the rationale for leaving the job? You guys said, hey, we got some real good action here. I mean, first of all, AI is hot. Obviously, a great opportunity to start a company. You know, I'm not down on it at all. In fact, I love it. So Airbnb is obviously great pedigree. I mean, now they're one of the Hall of Famers. Facebook, Netflix, Airbnb, Twitter, Lyft. I mean, you know, the list goes on of some amazing open source. Uber. I mean, that's in that class of Web 2, SaaS, crossover, greatness, handmade, large scale systems.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You were cutting your teeth into that.
Yeah.
So you guys sitting there saying, hey, we just solved a big problem that maps to a broader opportunity, and let's go for it.
Yeah.
And then what happened next?
Yeah, so we have seen a few companies try to use it. Then we realized actually they would pay for helping them to do it. And they would pay for a good managed solution. So that's what prompted us. We just followed where users are.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
Who were the first couple customers? Can you talk about it or no?
I can talk about the open source users, not about the...
Talk about what they did, what some of the use cases, and what was the benefit. What made you realize this is a huge opportunity, not we just get paid, but we could scale this, it's got real benefits.
Yeah, I can start with like Airbnb and what Stripe did, what Stripe uses it for. So Airbnb uses it in almost every ML model inside the company. So we have search recommendations, fraud detection, payment fraud, shape stuff, growth, customer support for using LLMs. So all of that needs data going into the prompts, data going into the models. So Cronon is used to generate this data, like turn raw data into features and prompts. And at Stripe, it's mostly used for transaction fraud, right? And there is new use cases coming up at Uber and OpenAI.
How are the marketing departments using it? When you say they're using machine learning to feed their proprietary data or their unique data, their domain data, into a large language model or a frontier model, or is it they building their own language models to feed it into, or both?
I have seen both actually. So I have seen complex workflows where it's like a node of decisions. At every step you make decisions, and some of the decisions are made by frontier models, and some of the decisions are made by custom models that are supervised, and some of the decisions are made by unsupervised models that are also custom. So there's like a whole range of applications.
What is the most popular, RAG's a great example. I call last year the year of retrieval augmentation generation. Now, oh, hey, look how great this is. I mean, that's great, vector embeds and all that, but the build value is going to come into pipeline these ML data sets into either small language models or ones that are interacting with others. What's the hottest area right now that you think that people are going to jump on?
So I think in terms of news cycles, I would say the language models are like at the top. But in terms of where our users are coming from, they still tend to come from traditional machine learning models that are serving search, that are serving customer support, that are serving fraud detection.
So business stuff that's already been kind of went through the resilience framework tests.
Yeah.
So where it's kind of been verified.
Yeah.
In the enterprise at least.
Yeah, so that's where like the strongest business impact is. And that's where like a lot of sophisticated ML teams are like, they're trying to build like
hardcore ML is basically laying down the freeways so the picks and shovels vendors can go to the customers.
Yeah.
Basically, because this is real, it's a critical path.
Yep.
I mean, fraud detection, you're JP Morgan Chase. Are they a customer yet?
Not yet.
You know what their budget is? $17 billion a year.
Wow.
IT budget. They do $10 trillion in transactions a day. I interviewed the CIO there, Lori Beer. They are hardcore. You know what her answer was when I asked what her resilience strategy was for AI? You know what she said? Oh, it's easy. We just apply our resilience framework to it. I go, what? AI? He goes, well, it's just another app. So the mindset of the customer is LLMs or these language models, the foundation models, the multimodal models, that's just another app to them.
We treat it the same way actually. So regular ML, AI, fine-tuned small LLMs, we don't like really differentiate between those. We just try to.
It's got a purpose. It's an app, right? Basically, it's an approach, workflow.
Yeah.
What's the big problem that you solve on the workflow that you could say that this was a game changer? What would get Peter Wagner, who's a very tough VC to get through the knothole on because he's super smart. He's got a great team at Wing. He's been on theCUBE before. I love that guy. He's one of the old school venture capitalists. I shouldn't say he's my age actually, but he's good. What did he like about this? They got a high bar over there at Wing VC.
They do. So I think the biggest application of the data pipeline stuff that we do is embeddings. Embeddings are super hard, not from a model point of view, but from the data plumbing side of things.
Like how? Like what way?
Yeah, so embeddings are essentially models that are outputting features to the next model, right? So you're chaining two models.
Yeah.
And the pipelines involved is complex than like a regular machine learning model where there's only one stage, right? There is hundreds of features, but there is only one stage. Embeddings make it like, twice as more complex. And changing anything here will require you to automatically change.
So you're chaining the prompts, you're chaining the embeds, which are basically prompts to each other, or prompt received.
So the prompt could be at the end of the embedding. So the embedding could go into a RAG system. The RAG system will pull out like a prompt, and the prompt will go into a frontier model or a LLM. So like we manage this whole pipeline, but embeddings is like where most people cannot do it manually.
So it's got to be automated. Yeah. This will feed into scalable agentic infrastructure.
Yeah.
So he's probably looking at this as a key fabric of an operating agentic system.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make that embeddings work, because models talking to each other probably will be happening.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't I want to talk to a smarter model that is more peaked or specialized and vetted, especially if the supply chain and lineage knowledge around the data? Why wouldn't I trust that? So if I delegate to you authority, I got to trust that that's going to happen, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
if I'm an app developer, I don't want to deal with that. I mean, it's like why DevOps existed.
Absolutely. I think a lot of our value comes from automating this for developers, like automating this pipelining.
So how do I
and
get my
management.
hands on some of this stuff?
Yeah,
So theCUBEAI.com is our embeddings, all the videos, all the stuff. So I want some of that. What do? I want to have contextual programmability in the agents to know that if then else, and I'm oversimplifying, but I want to get into if things are happening in the neural net, I want to stay on a path where I have more knowledge, I'm smarter as I go.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk to us, we're happy to help. But there is an open source project out there, so you could try to use it, and that also supports embeddings, but like you'll need to plumb together multiple systems to make that system like production ready. But you could
And the
use
name of the project again is Cronon?
Cronon.
Cronon,
Yeah.
C-R-O.
CHRONON.
Yeah, Cronon. Yeah, okay. So it's Apache 2. It's not yet hosted on Apache or Linux Foundation. It'll probably be the Apache Foundation if they're going to support it.
I think.
But you just use their license. You're not yet a designated project yet.
Yeah, we're not in the foundation.
How many people are working on the open source project now?
I would say about 20 to 25.
So hardcore machine learning folks who are kind of in this one area, basically your friends, basically, not friends, but I mean the people who are doing the hard. This is like down mission critical AI infrastructure we're talking
Absolutely,
about.
yeah.
It's not like side project in the garage. I mean,
Yeah.
fraud detection. Every bank is going to need this. We've seen that grow in open source big time. How many customers do you have? Do you have any customers yet, or no?
We have two. Essentially, we have signed two customers. Not at liberty to talk about who they are, but we have like multiple other leads. But we're trying to be focused on
Design partners, get into some folks who are going to really help you guys out.
Yeah.
So it's a pure seed deal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's a good seed. But it's not a Series A.
It's not.
Yeah. So it's a super seed.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I love what you're doing. Again, we've been talking on theCUBE for years about that. In fact, I think we were the first media company and research firm to put out the power law of AI models. This is when pre-ChatGPT, they're about to launch. We said boldly at that time, now it's obvious, that there's going to be a power law of models where the proprietary, we called them proprietary, then now they're called frontier models because no one wants to say they're proprietary. It's a bad word, but they're called frontier models. We're the big ones, and expensive, but then the power law shapes down, you're going to have no neck, then a torso will develop, and you're going to start to see specialty models come in, and then more evergreen, distinct domain models where, if you're a JP Morgan Chase or you're a big bank, why would I ever make my models public? That's proprietary information. That's intellectual property.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want my engineer's going to work on that, so they're going to need to have some plumbing.
yeah, absolutely. I think
That's where you guys are going, right? That's where you see this going.
yeah, we are working with customers who are super critical about where their data lives. They don't want it to exit their account, so their data is not going anywhere, basically. So we are not working with smaller companies
Okay.
where that's
All
an
right.
option.
So last opportunity. I'll end the day out. You're closing us out here on day one of our coverage. Give a plug in to the folks watching. What you guys are looking to do? You guys looking to hire some people? What kind of problems do your engineers solve? What's the culture right now? So you're a raw startup. Great funding levels. Seeds, great. Good amount. Great people. Good investors. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what are you looking to hire? What's the makeup of the individuals? What are some of your goals? Go ahead, you give a plug.
Yeah, so we are a team of engineers mostly doing distributed data infrastructure from backgrounds from Amazon, Facebook, Airbnb, Palantir, Stripe. Essentially, all world-class people. And we basically are building this platform where we automate pipelines that include batch process, stream process, indexes, and services, all behind one query. So imagine if you're a end user, writing a query and seeing all of this infrastructure spin up. That would save them like months, if not years of time. And we have seen this play out at Airbnb and Stripe really well. And we're trying to replicate this for the rest of the world.
As a managed service.
As a managed service.
Welcome to theCUBE.
Thanks
Great
for
to
having
have
me.
your kind of brain power here on theCUBE. Again, this is with the young guns, next generation coming from amazing companies, first generation, large scale. Now supercomputing for the masses is here, capabilities are hitting the table. More and more machine learning, more and more plumbing AI infrastructure is the hottest area. It's going to have to feed in the agentic layer coming in very, very fast, but you can't do agentic without AI infrastructure. So again, you heard on theCUBE. Thanks so much for your time. Congratulations again. All right, fresh funding, startups. Here on theCUBE, of course, bringing everything from startups to big companies. I'm John Furrier, your host of theCUBE. Thanks for watching.